it actually happened. And not in the way that many people thought, myself included, that this is the route that the Mavericks would actually take. But earlier this week, we went over a report that highlighted how the Dallas Mavericks were aggressively looking for a trade suitor for Omax. We obviously have 16 players. Dante Exum has a contract. And unfortunately, Omax along with Jaden Hardy were the two guys that were aggressively being shopped all summer long. But today we got the report that the Dallas Mavericks, instead of trying to find a trade suitor, they instead decided to stretch waive Omax, making him an unrestricted free agent to go sign anywhere he pleases. So in this video, we're going to take a look at the report, see what it is actually said about Omax, why did we decide to stretch waive him, and is that the right move for the Mavericks? But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing you the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we get started with today's video, 46.1% of you guys are not subscribed. I know I sound like a broken record by now, but if you want to be up to date on everything Mavericks related, we got preseason right around the corner, followed by the regular season. If you want to be up to date on every little bit of news, make sure you subscribe. But earlier this summer, we reported heavily after, of course, we found out we had the #1 pick. We knew we were getting Cooper Flag. We also got news that the Dallas Mavericks were aggressively looking to shop both Omax and Jaden Hardy. Those efforts were ramped when they offered a contract to Dante Exum, which we all know why the Dallas Mavericks decided to go out and get Dante. We need more help at the guard position. Kyrie Irving will be out for some significant time. The timetable to return right now is unknown. So we want to make sure that we are stronger in that position than being weaker. And Omax being a small forward, Cooper Flag also being a forward, was the obvious problem that we had to solve. Omax would essentially have been our fifth forward when you count PJ Washington, Anthony Davis, Cooper Flag, Najee Marshall, Caleb Martin, and then Omax. So actually sixth forward on the list for the Dallas Mavericks. Even if we did find a way to keep Omax and Dante, Omax most likely would not have gotten any minutes at all. He is entering his third year. Didn't really see much of a big jump last year, aside from whenever we had all those players missing time. Omax definitely showed up when we needed him the most to at least keep things afloat, I guess. Stop the bleeding from becoming too bad. But unfortunately, what a lot of people have pointed out, Omax just doesn't look like he has it all the way there yet. And that doesn't mean that he's not ready for the NBA. He just needs the right opportunity, and he could find that elsewhere. But if we just go over the reports that we saw earlier this week, the other day, the report came out that the Dallas Mavericks have ramped up their efforts to find roster space to sign Dante Exum. The push has focused on finding a new home via trade for Olivier Maxence Prosper. And that's what we all believed. Maybe we make a trade with Portland or Orlando, Miami, any other team. Most likely, I thought it would be a team in the Eastern Conference, as the Eastern Conference is pretty weak. Omax could easily go to a bottom feeder team, get a lot of minutes, and actually develop and improve. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. But yesterday, we did get this bit of news that did drop. That Jake Fisher reports that a resolution on finding a new home for Omax Prosper or Jaden Hardy is expected to happen by 5 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. Reason being that it is a deadline to waive and stretch contracts, which is what the Mavs may ultimately have to do with Prosper or Hardy. And I've seen the comments online. I've seen them in the last video, on several of my videos. A lot of people thought Jaden Hardy needs to be the one that gets stretch waived or gets to traded, need to keep Omax. And I understand why you may feel one way about one player or the other, but the issue comes down to money. As the Dallas Mavericks have just stretch waived Omax, they're only owing him a total of $3 million, which they will pay $1 million over the next 3 years. Whereas Jaden Hardy is on a $6 million per year contract, and obviously that would put us just a smidge hair over the second cap. Even though we do have to stretch waive Omax and sign Dante, we are still below the second apron, which does give us a very small room to breathe when it comes to salaries, and we still haven't heard any news about PJ's extension at the time of this recording. Sure, we'll probably hear something after the holidays, but even then, the Dallas Mavericks should only be under the second apron by a little bit once PJ and Gafford's extensions are both kicking in the following season. But Omax is an interesting player. He was drafted 24th overall in his draft. He was a first-round pick. He, at the time, could have fit a need as we didn't really have good forward depth. But unfortunately, as the seasons went on, we quickly fixed that. We went and got PJ Washington. We got Najee Marshall. We then draft Cooper Flag. Before that, we traded for Anthony Davis. So slowly but surely, after we drafted Omax, we were able to find better forwards right away. And that isn't really indicative on how bad our front office is, whether you want to believe it or not. Omax does have potential. He definitely can help some other team. just not a team that has the timetable that we have. If we were a younger team with no real aspirations or expectations, sure, Omax could definitely thrive here. He could develop, get real minutes, but that's just not the case. And everything that I'm saying now about Omax, you could say the same thing about Jaden Hardy. The problem is we have a need for point guards, and whether or not Jaden Hardy gets real minutes or not, without Kyrie Irving, we will need all the help we can get at that point guard position where, like I said, Omax would have been the 5th or 6th forward coming off the bench for us, which doesn't do you much good when you've got players like Najee Marshall, Cooper Flagg, PJ, AD, Caleb Martin all occupying those minutes, and where even out of those 5, Caleb Martin will most likely get 10-ish minutes a game, if that. He'll probably be our garbage time forward. But Omax can definitely grow somewhere else, just not with the Dallas Mavericks. If we take a look right here, the official report, the Dallas Mavericks will waive and stretch Olivier Maxence Prosper. League sources told Hoops Hype the former 25th pick of the 2023 NBA draft is being waived to make room for Dante Exum and duck the second apron. The 23-year-old is expected to draw free agency interest, so that tells you right there, Omax isn't just going to be hanging out at home on the couch just watching the next season from home. Most likely there will be a team that will pick him up in some fashion. With this about to be his 3rd NBA season, he does qualify for a 2-way contract. There's many teams that could easily give him a 2-way contract, or a team that just wants to give him a flat-out guaranteed contract, maybe a 1-year deal, just to see what he can do for them. So that's good news for all those Omax fans out there that are worried about, is this the end of Omax? No, I don't think so. And some people would argue that we gave up on him too fast, and I don't think it's us giving up on him. It's just a tough decision that you have to make. I've said it already. He's the 5th or 6th forward. He's not getting minutes. Jaden Hardy, whether you like him or not, will get minutes in some capacity this upcoming season, whereas Omax would just be on the bench. Getting paid, sure, but just on the bench not doing anything. And the team, obviously, in the direction that they want to go, they favor Dante Exum. They're used to Dante. This is about to be his 3rd year with the team. As long as he can stay healthy, then yes, this would have been the right decision. But only time will tell if this was the right decision for the Dallas Mavericks. And even if Dante doesn't work out, we got Jaden Hardy, we got Brandon Williams still, and of course we have D'Angelo Russell, who I'm very excited for. If we take a look at the money aspect of this trade, like I said, Omax is owed $3 million, and with that waive and stretch, he'll get paid about $1 million for the next 3 years. And just some contract notes, Prosper has 1 year and $3 million left on his contract. The team option does not count because it is non-guaranteed and has not been exercised. Also, he has been waived, and his 2025-2026 salary is stretched over 3 seasons, and the Mavericks are now $3.5 million below the second apron. They were $1.5 million before the waiver. So, for those wondering why we stretch waived Omax now Hardy, that is why. Financially, this was the better decision. You can make the argument over talent. You can make the argument over positional needs. Should have traded away somebody. And I've already mentioned it many, many times on this channel that both Omax and Hardy, in some cases, they do have negative value. The reason why that they haven't been traded is because many teams wanted a pick involved with them. And the Dallas Mavericks, after everything that's happened over the last several years, don't want to move too many draft picks if they don't have to. They looked at this as a way to get further below the second apron without having to move any draft picks. All just to make room for Dante Exum. And to put things into perspective, shout out to Knife Talk Mavs. He tweeted out saying waiving Omax over Hardy makes more sense because the Mavs only owe Omax one more year at $3 million. Waiving that has virtually zero impact, but Hardy is owed $6 million with more years. So there you go. It would have been a longer stretch wave. We would have probably been over the second apron. And honestly, once when all those financials came out, if we decided to stretch wave Hardy, fans probably would have been upset because we'd be in the second apron, making things a lot more difficult for us down the road. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Are you happy that it was Omax? Are you happy he got stretch waived? Are you upset we didn't trade for him? Or would you have rather have kept Omax and got rid of anybody else? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for making part of the video. Make sure to check out our Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. And as always, y'all take care. Drink water. Peace.